Alright. Let's do the usual rounds. Talk to everyone. Yep, unless you're here to work, I'm busy, and our dad. Taking breaks is important. Yep, we've definitely read that one before. You spot Cal almost asleep on his feet, propped up on his rake. As you approach, he snaps to attention. Oh, hey, Selene, he says, rubbing his eyes with his forearm. Just catching some shut-eye. Keeping the colony fed is a full-time job, and then some. Yep. Ooh, we've got medicinal roots over there. Don't know if I missed them last month or if they've respawned. Mars scrolls through the holovid directory on her holopalm. With everything that's been happening, I honestly haven't had time to watch vids in, like, whole seasons? Maybe it's been long enough that they'll feel new again. She sighs. Probably not. Oh. No, we can't give any gifts to everyone. We've already given out gifts. I'd forgotten to check, but obviously we gave Mars a gift last month. Nobody's looking up at the sky with a slight smile. It's been 4 years, and it's still so cool, they comment. I spent my whole life on a spaceship before this. Being outside still feels like being in paradise, even with everything going on. Rex slings his arm around you, knocking his head against yours. Another beautiful day in paradise, right? He says, voice light but dripping with irony. You doing okay? Taking care of yourself? Yeah, we're doing fine. I think I've come to truly love this planet, Tang says, looking up at the sky. Certainly, it's at times uncomfortable or even dangerous, but she smiles faintly. I have such wonderful visions of what it could become. Yeah, I think that's what she said last month. Nim looks up from her holopalm as you approach. Selene, can you block someone from sending you holos? Just temporarily, she asks. Her holopalm chimes with another incoming message and she winces. I really screwed up and now Base won't leave it alone. I said I was sorry. We don't have an egg to give you, and I think that's all you really want. Yep, go bother Rex. Alright. So I'm thinking we now go to foraging in the valley. That'll get us a bunch of eggs and whatnot. More gifts. I'm still a little... I'm not going to go salty, but finally annoyed that I managed to pick up 3 of the strange devices so that I could give them as gifts, and immediately had to give them out to that event. I mean, it was a good event, and I'm glad I did it, but... oh well. So yeah, Forge in the Valley, all events respond. Yeah. So let's go Forge in the Valley, and then I think we'll be done with exploration for a while at least. And then focus more on doing other events, like the normal jobs and training and whatnot. Sim is over there. Let's see if he has any sort of update about Dis. You find Sim on a cliff overlooking the colony. It looks so small from here, so vulnerable. Sim turns to you with a sad smile. Please tell me you've convinced the humans to accept the Overseer's offer. I have not. Could you help me calm down? I think this is just the same thing it says every time. I'm wondering if I have to do something specific, like take a job in command in order to try that convincing. Because I suspect... I don't remember all these paths and where they lead. I mean, it might be something that just happens maybe with Vertumna or Vertumnalia Festival. I could see that being the case. Looks like we have a special event here. I will hit that up after I've grabbed everything, just to make sure if it's one that sends me immediately home, I don't miss out on everything. Yeah, it's possible it's something that will trigger with Vertimnalia, but I think it's more likely that I have to do something in command to trigger talking to people about it. At least that's how I'm leaning, but I don't really know. Utopia. Like the rest of the planet, the valley is home to some strange plant and animal life. You find Utopia puzzling over a jelly arch, a huge gelatinous arch, held together by solid veins large enough for a person to walk underneath. They don't look like animals, but you've been around long enough to realize that things aren't always what they seem. Upon closer inspection, the arches seem to pulse and breathe, even though they have no visible organs, and they're always kind of warm. It's unsettling. Now I know this one ain't right, Utopia mutters to herself as you approach. Slane, you ever seen a jelly arch look so deflated? You take a look, it's true. This arch just doesn't seem as structurally sound as the others. I'm beginning to think they're all connected, Utopia says, scratching her chin, like runners, underground, poking up every so often in waves like this. If one's looking rough, what's going to happen to the rest? She sticks her hand in the goop, and the arch seems to cringe away as she roots around in its innards. It's got some kind of crystal structure in here, suspended in it, she says, sticking her tongue between her teeth. Wonder if it's got its nose knocked out of joint, or whatever it's got instead of a nose. The jelly arch makes a sloshing, groaning noise, its surface rippling with pain? Can it even feel pain? Or is it just a reaction to being churned up inside? We can offer a crystal, get her to stop because our animals is high enough, or leave. I mean, I can see both of these being good options. But I'd say offer her a crystal in case she can use it to help the jelly arch. We've got lots of crystals. Utopia hums. It can't hurt, she says, and shoves the crystal into the gelatinous mass of the arch. The arch stiffens and Utopia shouts in alarm. Dang thing's got my arm, she exclaims. She gets her foot on the jelly arch, no longer as permeable, and hauls her arm out of it. Ooh, she laughs. That'll teach me to go stick in my hand places. The jelly arch looks more healthy now, standing up proud and wibbly again. Great thinking, Selene, Utopia says. Who would have thought? That was a weird event. Alright, let's see if I can get back to the boss event. I think we've done everything. This was definitely not the shortest route there, but it will take us the right direction. And I'm skipping the Vricky and the Triblet, whatever the other creature was, those events, because we've seen lots of them, probably all of them. You're getting accustomed to navigating the thick, choking pollen in the Valley of Vertigo. Once you've learned how to decipher the path in the fog, it's almost as if the valley was designed on purpose, blanketed edge to edge with edible food, just ready for the picking. You find a bobber fruit. You dig up some potato and roll them back to base camp, delicious and cool. You meet up with Utopia, who congratulates you on your find. Look for more, or just go home? Well, let's look for more. Why not? Good card to get stuck in place. +1 to red card, so that's going to turn into a 6. So I could put like 7, 6, and then 5. Oh, no, because that 7 actually turns into a 9. Alright, fine. There we go, 666. Sure. Let's see, you're going to drop down to a 6 again. Yeah. And I could put that in, just because it will be a big card. Or maybe I'll save it. The problem is that the card to the right becomes a 5. It's kind of annoying. We could do that. And then don't really have any way of getting another 6. But there we go. Not really possible to get any straights, so might as well just get pairs. Huh. We've already met the goal just with the card that's locked in place. Perfect. Alright. So you're going to turn into a 6 yet again. Yeah. Can it go slightly better? Apparently. Alright, that is the best hand. Nice. We gain a bunch of perception, which doesn't matter. You stick around a little while longer, hauling basket loads back to base camp. Well, thanks, sweets, Utopia says, pleasantly surprised. She rewards you with a handful of kudos. Alright, now we will head back. Alright. Some perception and some biology, we don't need either. You wake to the sound of your holopalm chiming with new incoming messages. You blearily tap through your inbox, squinting into the bright light. Dr. Instant says you're all going to ruin your eyesight by 30 if you stare at your holopalms all the time, but Dr. Instant has never been a teenager on an alien planet, so what does she know? OMG, is that supposed to be you? You are friends with Nomi, correct? Tell them not to clog up the colony message board with their art. Your stomach sinks as you go to the colony message board and find a new post from Nomi entitled, "You know who you are." You click it. The post contains a single image attachment depicting two people embracing while riding a unisaur. Nomi has drawn hearts floating all around them. One is clearly Nomi's Legends of Avamar character, and the other, well, it could be you, but looking at it, well, it could be Rex as well. You look for more information, but there is none. Strange. You close your holopalm and get ready to start your day. So is Nomi interested in us, or is Nomi interested in Rex? Or is Nomi just drawing art? I really like this music. Just nice background music. You catch your mom leaning against her rake and start staring out at what remains of the walls surrounding the colony. The fields usually get pretty trampled in the attacks, and it's a lot of work to get them back into shape. She sighs. What do you need, Selene? Hey, it's my little genius, your dad exclaims, swooping down to kiss the top of your head. Savior of the colony. What do you need, love bug? Cal is diligently logging this season's crops into the colony's agricultural inventory, a frown creasing his usually serene face. When he sees you, he smiles with relief. Selene, he says, reaching out and taking your hand. He pulls you into an achingly tender kiss. Seeing you always makes me feel better, he says, pressing his forehead to yours. Cal's a good kid. Not really a kid. Cal's a good guy. Mars scrolls through the holovid directory on her holopalm. With everything that's been happening, I honestly haven't had the time to watch vids in, like, full seasons. Yeah, you said that last month. Nomi looks up from their holoscreen and smiles when they see you enter the lounge. Hey, Selene. Nice day, huh? So about that picture you posted, or don't bring it up? I mean, they posted it in a public board, so... So about that picture you posted. Nomi puts their stylus down. Oh, okay, sure. It's a picture of you and me, isn't it? It's you and Rex, right? I want to say that if you want to romance Nomi, saying it's a picture of you is the route to go. Otherwise, it's you and Rex. I think. I could be wrong. But it's you and Rex, right? Nomi's face goes completely red and they stare up at you in shock. How did you know? They exclaim, clapping their hands over their cheeks. It totally was. OMG. Nomi flops against the back of the couch and curls up into a ball, kicking their feet in the air. I don't know what to do, they wail. He's so cool. And not just cool, he's so nice and helpful and, They look away embarrassed. I mean, I have eyes, you know? Even if I'm not really interested in that kind of stuff, I know he's super galactic hottie too. He's like an 11,100,000 gajillion out of 10. Wow. Nomi grabs a pillow and hugs it to their chest. He's my best friend in the whole universe. The whole entire universe. I love him, right? And he says he loves me, but I don't know what that means. What if I dated Rex? For real? They take a deep breath and hide their face against the pillow. But he really likes, you know, they mutter, sex stuff. Nothing could go wrong with this plan. I thought you weren't into sex stuff, or I don't think you two are compatible. I thought you weren't into that stuff. Nomi throws their head back in frustration, but I really like him. He's so good, and he makes me feel... Mars is in the lounge, painting her nails, perks her head up, and listens curiously. Nomi shrinks into themselves and lowers their voice. Sometimes I think about, kissing Rex, they confess, picking at a loose thread on the pillow, and it makes me feel kind of weird, but in a good way. I just feel like if it was ever going to be anyone for me, Rex is a pretty good choice, right? Nomi continues. What do you think, Selene? Rex wouldn't make you uncomfortable, or this has bad idea written all over it. Rex wouldn't make you feel uncomfortable. Rex seems like a good guy who would do what's best for you. So yeah, Rex wouldn't make you uncomfortable. You remind Nomi that Rex is a very good boy, and they giggle and cover their eyes. I know, he's the best boy, they reply, then heave a big sigh and go uncharacteristically quiet for a few moments. I know some of the adults in the colony have open relationships, Nomi says eventually. Sometimes Cal talks about how one of his mom's boyfriends doesn't live with them, and some do, and it's different, but it's still okay, because people are happy, and that's what matters, right? I don't mind if Rex, does sex stuff with other people. It makes him happy, and I think all I need to be happy is to know that we're always going to be there for each other, together, forever. Nomi blushes again, and looks down at the ground, and, maybe we could kiss sometimes. I think I'd like that. Well, go for it. Yep, we read that last time. So, now back to normal conversations. Rex slings his arm around you, knocking his head against yours. Another beautiful day in paradise, right? Taking care of yourself? Yep. So, as we don't have a lot of excess devices, still grumbling a little bit, I think I'm going to go to Command and buy some cake, because Vase likes that, so I can at least give him a gift for the quiet season. He blocks someone from sending you hollows just temporarily. Yeah, you should just dump Vase. He is clearly a toxic person. But in the meantime, have an egg. You're a hero, Nem says, taking the egg, and I'm starving. I'm gonna get the kitchen to cook this up right away. Ooh, and a conversation. You're supposed to meet Nem for lunch, but she didn't show up. You head to the garrison to see if you can find her. You spot Nem's shock of red hair over by the close-range fighting ring. As you approach, she finishes a flurry of blows with a roundhouse kick that almost knocks the training dummy's head clear off. Kaya! Nem roars, echoing off the vaulted ceiling of the garrison. Nem steps back from the ring and pulls up the bottom of her shirt to wipe her face, flashing you a glimpse of her muscular stomach and the blue-green scaling that dances over her ribcage and down her hips. Her skin shines with sweat under the harsh lights. You catch her eye and she shoots you a smile as quick and bright as the sun glinting off the metal roofs before it disappears behind her usual bleak expression. She jogs over to you. What are you doing here, Selene? She brings up the time on her holopalm and her eyes go wide. Oh, we were supposed to eat lunch together today. I'm sorry. Okay, you were busy. You clearly had something better to do. You look incredible today. We're not flirting with Anemone. That sounds like it's an insulting... Not insulting, but passive-aggressive, so we're going to avoid it. I mean, it could be a polite statement, but it could be a passive-aggressive statement. So I'm going to go with the, it's okay, you were busy. Yeah, but that's no excuse, Nem replies seriously. I should have been more aware. Nem grabs her water bottle and drinks from it, then pours the rest over her head and flicks the water through her shaved side. We can still go get some chow if you want, she says. Just give me a sec. Nem pulls an oversized sports ball sweater over her workout clothes, then thumbs her thumbs popping through the holes worn into the cuffs. The lettering on the back reads kombucha. As you exit the garrison, you're stopped by a few of the other soldiers, who all seem to want to give Nem a high five, or tell her about their days. Even though she's clearly exhausted, she musters up a few heartening words for each of them. They all know I'm dating Base, she says apologetically, when you finally emerge into the sunlight. It's weird. All of a sudden, I'm like a hero to them, too, and I haven't even done anything yet. I train every day, though, probably like 6 or 8 hours, she says, rubbing her shoulder and stretching it out as she walks. It feels good to work hard. Like, it just wipes out all the bad thoughts. Anything that's bothering me. She makes an exploding motion with one hand. Just goes away. Poof. I can't afford to lose focus, Nem says solemnly. I can't let myself get distracted. If I do that, and someone dies because of it, null it, man, she says, shaking her head. The thought of it keeps me up at night. Sometimes I just get up and run around the colony until I'm too tired to stand. No one else is going to die on my watch. You understand, right? She asks, turning to you. You work harder than anyone. How do you do it? What are you fighting for, Selene? For the future of the colony, being the best is all I care about. Because there's no other choice, or I'm just trying to get through it. I think the future of the colony is probably the most fitting for our Selene here. We could go with because there's no other choice, like things keep getting bad and we have to step up. But I think for the future of the colony, Nem nods in agreement. Me too, she says. When it comes down to it, that's all that matters. Alright, so before I talk to Vase, let's head to command to the depot, since we have an absurd number of kudos, and buy some cake. Let's see. Is there anything else new here since we last checked? Plus 10 to all social skills, plus 2 to social challenges. Plus 30 engineering, and the first collectible use is free on any challenge. That'd be pretty cool. Times 2 bonus for any straits, so if any straits you use. Times 2 for physical pairs, plus 2 for mental flushes. There's some cool stuff here. Probably not anything I'm going to go with. I'm pretty happy with the cards I have. There we go. We've got cake for you, Base. Yeah. I know you don't like us. Have a cake. Base regards your gift with curiosity. Cake? He asks. I mean, I appreciate it, but why? It's not like it's my birthday. We are theoretically trying to become your friend, as much as you make that difficult. Man, you really are all about the cake this month, says Pseudonym. It's a focus for us, I guess. You cross paths with Vase in the garrison. Selene, he hails you. Just the person I wanted to see. Come with me. Vase leads you through the labyrinthine corridors of the garrison to where the soldiers are housed. Most of the people who arrive on the Helio have moved into colony housing, and their rooms converted into storage, but it's not surprising to learn that Vase is one of the holdouts. Vase's room is humble, but far from utilitarian. As the motion sensor lights flicker on, the first thing you notice is that it's full of space travel paraphernalia. Star charts, ship schematics, flight plans, and the like. A hologram of a small personal class spaceship hovers in the corner. As you gawk, Vase shoves your shoulder lightly and moves into the room. It's too bloody noisy out there on the floor, he says, and I wanted to ask you something. Have you ever wanted to just leave? He starts giving you a thoughtful look. You know, to get away from all this terrestrial bull and return to the skies where we were born? Nearly constantly, or not really. Nearly constantly is obviously what he wants to hear, but I think honestly we haven't. We kind of like it here, and have made a decent living for ourselves. So, not really? Vase frowns and jerks his head dismissively. Yeah, obviously, he says. Me neither. I ain't a deserter. It's just, Vase continues, looking around at his room. I can't help but feel like space is where I belong. I always wanted to be a spaceship pilot, more than a soldier, he says. That's surprising, or it suits you? Yeah, it suits you. Well, are we saying it suits you, it being soldier, or it being spaceship pilot? It suits you. Yeah, it does, Vase replies. I don't want to be a soldier for the rest of my life, that's for sure. Not on this planet. Protecting people who don't even want me here? Pass. He shakes his head. Nah, space is where it's at. This colony feels a little small for someone of my caliber, he says, looking around this cluttered room. I miss Zero-G, and knowing that only a thin skin of metal and your own wits protect you from the vacuum of space. When we came through that wormhole, when our bridge was destroyed and everyone thought we were going to die, in that moment everyone on the ship was one cohesive organism, and we were going to live or die on the strength of those bonds of our training, he says. It was an adrenaline rush that nothing could ever match. Anyway, I was thinking, I want to return to space, my own spacecraft, Vase says, fiddling with the dials on the hollow projection of the little ship so that it flickers. Just a little one, enough room for 2 people and some cargo. He looks at you. I'll need a second in command, he continues. Someone to compliment me, someone who I know is going to have my back. I don't want to be anyone's sidekick. Sounds like a great adventure, or I do my best work on my back. Wow. Wow. I don't want to be anyone's sidekick. Let's be honest. Don't think of it like being a sidekick, Vase says with a little smile. Think of it as getting a front row seat to adventure. Vase's eyes dart over the wall of his bunk, where you can see a few personal photos interspersed with the spaceship stuff. Nothing's keeping me here, anyway, he says. My mom split when I was a baby, for all the good it did her, still being stuck on the same spaceship with us, pretending I didn't exist. My dad died about 2 years before we came through the wormhole. Oh, I'm sorry for your loss. Vase snorts. Don't be, he sneers. My dad was a mediocre soldier with authority issues. He liked to fight, and he wasn't smart enough to do it right, and got his butt bounced from the program and put into the civilian roster. From the tone of Vase's voice, being called a civilian is probably the worst punishment he can imagine. Turns out, resisting authority was the only thing keeping him together. He filled the vacuum with drinking and trying to knock me around until he couldn't even do that, because I moved into the barracks as soon as they let me. Eventually, the old man got in a fight he couldn't win, Vase says, shrugging. Fell down a bunch of stairs, I guess. Sure, fell down a bunch of stairs. Vase runs his hands through the hollow projection thoughtfully. It's bloody weird. In my earliest memories, I remember idolizing him for being tough. Then I spent my childhood hating him, and the rest of my life pitying him for what a goddarn weakling he was. He put his hand down and flicks off the hollow projection. That's why I want to go to space, he says. I don't want to end up like my sad old man, fighting and drinking until it all gets to be too much and I sudden well snap. I want to make my own name for myself in the stars. -1 to all other cards. So bad. But it gives us a bit more context on who Vase is. But it's weird that he's asking me and not, I don't know, Nem, his girlfriend? Okay, so if we wanted to do something in command to see if it will fire off events that lead towards that some peaceful solution. Construction works on engineering and toughness. Toughness would help. We could do organizing and persuasion. We are still needing both of those. Deliver supplies, organizing, and perception. We'll work in the depot, I guess. Oh, never mind. Totally missed this. Bring the Overseer's deal to Governor Lum. Yep, student just pointed out as well. Look up. Yeah, I should probably do that then. Let's bring the Overseer's deal to Governor Lum. This could turn out very poorly to be like, hey, I was talking to actual sentient alien life. No, I'm not going to take you to their base so that you can kill them. Governor Lum is staring into space, but snaps out of it as you enter the room. What is it, colonist? Start by telling him about Sim. Tell him about the Overseer's offer. Don't even try to tell him. Do we start by telling him about Sim? Or just jump straight to the Overseer's offer? I don't think telling him about Sim is really pertinent. Probably just gonna go straight to the Overseer. Just, this happened, I was given this offer, don't ask questions, just accept it. But I'm guessing it's gonna blow up, in some way, from telling him. Lum rolls his eyes. Slain, buddy, there's no sentient life on Vertumna. We're it. Whatever you've seen out there, it's not like us. We're the rightful rulers of this planet, he continues. I'm not going to let some old garbage computer program stand between us and our destiny. He clenches his fists. We'll find a way to destroy them. We have to listen to them. They're more dangerous than you think, or... You're right. We have to listen to them. See, the thing about being governor, Selene, Lum drawls, is that I don't have to do anything people tell me, especially not some strato kid like you. Pseudonym recommended the more dangerous option. I don't think that would have had any better chances with Lum, because he seems to think that we can overcome any danger just by having bigger and more guns. He dismisses you, but he might have a point. Deposing him as governor would solve a lot of problems. You know Mars would be on board. Hey, Mars. Governor Lum is not working with me. Do you want to just depose him? I mean, I can try yeah, there's not a do-over option. But I don't think it would have turned out any better if we'd tried their dangerous option. Mars is sitting with her head propped up on her hand. I just think I'd make a better governor, she sighs, instead of this spacehead with a gun who thinks he knows what's best for the colony. She rolls her eyes. Like, okay, he's older, but I've lived here almost half of my entire life. Like, who are you going to trust here? I mean, personally, I don't know if I would necessarily want Mars as governor either. But I think in some ways she would be a better governor than Lum. And in other ways, probably a worse governor. Alright. I think we're probably mostly... time to chat with the Overseer again. I mean, I don't want to go straight back out to... exploring. So we could go back to engineering and do more tutoring. Because that is a reasoning and empathy. Oh, we don't actually need reasoning. We finally did max that. Never mind. See if anyone else wants to talk about aliens. I don't think anyone will. I think the conversations we had... yeah. Well, I guess rather than talking to anyone, I'll just see if anyone has an icon showing that they've got something new and exciting to talk about. But no one does. So I think that's it for that. Possibly in the next few months, Mars might bring forward a proposal of overthrowing Lum. Or I think actually... I stand by my previous assumption that possibly doing things in command will start triggering that. So, yeah. We will work in the depot. See if that will fire an event about working towards overthrowing Lum. Or it might be a Vertumnalia thing, because big events seem to happen around then. I don't know. But yeah, let's work in the depot. It'll boost organizing, but insomnia will hinder that. But it'll also give us persuasion, which I think is probably a useful skill with trying to persuade people to work with the aliens. You're trying to find Administrator Seek to ask about something and accidentally stumble into a meeting they're having with Governor Lum. You didn't catch the topic of the argument, but you managed to piece together that Seek is trying to get Lum to come up with a way to explain something important to the colony? Whatever it is, Lum is dismissive about it. You hear him say that he's not here to hold people's hands, which frustrates Seek. Figure it out, Seek, Lum says. That's your job. Tell Seek we could do it because we aren't very rebellious. Convince Lum you can help if our persuasion was higher. Just spy on them. We'll just tell Seek we can do whatever it is. You wait for Lum to storm off like he usually does, then you approach Seek while they're massaging their temples. You offer to help Seek with their problem, whatever it is. Seek sighs. The governor isn't used to how things work around here, they admit slowly. They clear their throat and look around to make sure he isn't still nearby. Nor does he have any real experience at running anything besides a squad of gun-toting soldiers. He doesn't appreciate the work of civil servants like you and me. Seek continues. He thinks the person with the biggest gun and the nicest smile should be allowed to make the decisions, with no regard to the difficulties of actually making those decisions reality. They sigh. Perhaps it needs a more deft touch. I already have Mars working on softening him through social media, though she's quite rebellious. I could use someone I can trust in the position. Unlocked administration and command. That sounds like we're heading in the right direction. Working in the depot. +1 to blue cards. Cards with gems are wild. Nice. I mean, that is a big card compared to basically everything else I have available. That turns this wild, giving it a +1. It takes a -1, along with everything else. So this 5 will turn into a... Oh. No, because -2 to neighboring yellow cards, and it became wild. Okay. Man, I don't know. All of these cards count as yellow, so this would give a -2 if it was next to anything. Whatever, we got the super goal. Oh, and already have the best score. Nice. It's a whole bunch of organizing, which is crazy. +5 even with the insomnia. And then bit of persuasion, some kudos, and some stress. And that should take us to Pollen.